Hey guys, it's Miguel. I'm going to be doing a few tutorials on how to do some of the Project Band setups and how to run Pro Tools for specific bands. I'm going to start with the 5-horn basic setup and just to show you what the room should look like, what mics to use, how to run Pro Tools efficiently, and how to work these preamps. I'm going to make this as short as I can so you guys can just get the information. If you ever forget anything, just come back and watch these. All the setups you need are going to be found in here. They have them listed out by what the band is. So I'm going to be following that today. So here's the 5-horn setup. This is what the person, it might be 2 people, are going to need to set up in the hour before the 5-horn starts. And I'm not going to put it the chairs because it's pretty self-explanatory. 5 right here in front of the drums and 1 for the bass. Basses use stools, don't use a regular chair. Guitar uses a regular chair. So I'm going to show you how the mics work and how they're supposed to be routed to the wall, which will then connect to the control room. So this is where all the cables go to from the microphones. So I'm going to start with the room mics. First thing you're going to need, open this box. Here's the pair. And you also need a stereo pair, an XY pattern holder. These are the ones you'll need. So as you can see, I got the Rode microphones set up in an XY pattern. And the most important thing, there's 2 most important things. First of all, every mic that has this plus 48 label on it needs something called phantom power. That's gonna be useful later when we start turning on all the mics. So this is the first step. You have to put them on the mic stand and you have to know which one is right and which one is left. The way you figure that out is you look at which way they're pointing. So, and you do it from the conductor's perspective. So if I'm right here, this is the right microphone, and this is the left, because this one's pointing to the left side of the room, this one's pointing to the right side of the room. It's a little confusing, but that is the way you should be setting it up. And that will be connected right here to numbers 5 and 6. So left will be pointing that way, right will be pointing this way. Make sure you get that right because that's important for the bounces that they're gonna get. So next up, I'm doing the pianos. We have the PG81s, space pair, and all the mics are listed in the binder. And these are also condensers, so they need the phantom power. Just make sure you take a note of that every time you do this, because some microphones don't need phantom power, it can damage them. So just make sure that you know exactly which ones need it. So this one is gonna be the right hand, because it's piano R, right piano, because it's the right hand. Is pointing towards the higher strings. This one's gonna be piano L because it's pointing towards the lower strings. And the reason I have them like this is because it has the majority of the low strings here and the majority of the high strings here. And it's not too close to the strings that's gonna hear a lot of the hammers. This is how I like doing it. And once you're done, once you've cabled everything, then you can move these gobos out here to block the noise from the rest of the band. So next we have the guitar. We're gonna be using the Sennheiser E609. And this is just gonna be dangling in front of the speaker right here. If you want, you could just tighten it up a bit. If you need to use some tape to tape this here, you can, but it should generally stay pretty solid. You can raise it up a little bit, however you like it. And also, before the players get here, make sure to just turn the amp on, leave it on standby, but turn it on so that the amp warms up. So it's good to go when the guitarist plugs in. And lastly, for the bass setup, we're gonna be using this direct box, this IMP. If you use the Countryman, you're gonna need phantom power, but this one does not need phantom power. So this XLR, you'll need XLR and 2 1/4 inches. The first XLR is just going to the wall. The first 1/4 inch is gonna be going from the out into the amp. And then the other 1/4 inch is just for the bass player to plug into. So that's gonna be from his bass guitar into the DI, the signal will go to the amp, which will allow the players to listen to it in the room. And then it's also gonna be going into the wall so that we can record it dry. So once you are done setting up all the mics and cables, you are ready to come in and start running Pro Tools. So first we're gonna navigate to the PB templates. And based on the band you're doing, I'm doing a 5-horn example right now. So I'm gonna start up a 5-horn Pro Tools template. Once you see this dashboard open up, you're gonna wanna rename the session to whatever band you're doing, so 5H for me. And then also the time of the band. So let's say we're doing 2 to 4 p.m. I'll just do that. And then before you do that, you want to check that's 48 kilohertz. Wave, 24-bit, interleaved, so this is all good. And then you want to check the location. So once you find the location folder, you're going to need to make sure you're on PB Spring 2023 or whatever semester you're doing. And we haven't started bands yet, so there's no date, but I'm going to make a new date for today, since I'm the first person. If there's already been a band before you, someone's already made the folder for that day, so you would just do it under the day folder. So I'm going to write the day of the month, which is the 17th, and the month itself, so 2. And then I'll just press open, and it will make my Pro Tools session in that day folder. And everything should already be ready for you to go. Now you can start navigating over to the preamps. So now that we're at the preamps, this is the last stage in the setup process, because you don't want to turn on any gain before you plug in the mic. So you want to make sure the mics are all plugged in and ready to go. Make sure that this Mackie is on Avid so that you can hear what's going on. And then we're just going to start line checking. So first of all, you're going to need to remember which microphones needed phantom power. So the pianos and the rooms all need phantom power. These do not. So then we're going to turn on phantom for these. It's the plus 48 button right here. And then if you need to clear it, there's a button right here to reset. That will clear the peaks. And then you can just start line checking. So I'm going to start with the bass. And I'm looking at Pro Tools to see if I get any signal. And I am getting signal there, so we're good. I'm going to just turn that down a bit. Guitar. Obviously it'd be better if someone can go touch on the mics, but this still works. You can adjust levels after they come in. Piano. Left side's looking good. Right side. Also looking good. And then the rooms. Looking good. All right, great. So then we're done with line check and we should be good to start rolling. So once you're ready to start rolling, you're gonna make sure that you have all of the list of names. You should have a paper with all the names for that band today. And we're gonna make playlists of all the names using the student right here. But first, just to get an idea of how the signal's working, you have all these tracks that we have set up in the mics out there. They're all being routed to the student. And we're gonna put that student on record. So you probably can't hear anything until you do that. Then you can probably start hearing the white noise. But after that, you're gonna start renaming based on the list. So let's say Sarah is first. So for Sarah, I'm gonna do a 01, so she's first. Her name, enter. Now this playlist is gonna be renamed to Sarah. If I have about 10, I'm gonna have to redo this for all of them. But here's a quick command to make life a lot easier. If you do Control /, it will come up with a new playlist. So I'll pull up a new playlist prompt, and then you'll do Daniel, whatever. Daniel second. You'll do this all the way until you have all the list of names completed. And then you can navigate through them right here. So this is gonna save you a lot of time in the end when you have to start exporting audio to the flash drives. So we're ready to start rolling. So let's say Sarah's up there ready to go. Her project's about to be played. They're getting ready to perform. I'm gonna press 3 before they're even performing, before they're ready, just so we can capture anything that we might not get, or if we're not paying attention or whatever. So we're pressing 3. They play their song, boom, takes over. Let's say they do another take. Let's say they want to do another take. Don't go to a new playlist yet. If you're still on Sarah, they want to do another take of that same project. Just start anywhere else, because they don't have headphones, so they're not listening to any click or anything. So we're just recording audio clips. So they're going to do another take. I'm going to record a bit. Here they go. And they're done. All right, so let's say they have 3 of them or 2 of them, whatever. When you're ready, you should have her flash drive ready to go. Plug it in there. It'll show up on your computer. Highlight both of the clips. Command-Shift-K. I'll do this with one hand. We'll pull up the export menu. And you can do MP3 or WAV, it doesn't really matter. Interleaved, and then you're gonna choose where to do it, and it should show their hard drive right here. I'm just gonna do it on the desktop for now, because I'm just save time. And then you're gonna make a new folder, call it 5-horn, or if you wanna put PV in front of it too, that's fine. PV 5-horn. You can put the date or just the time, 2 to 4. They should know what that is. And then all the audio files are gonna be sent to that folder onto their hard drive, and they should be good to go. And you just press enter a bunch, and then just to check, desktop, there it is. So those are the 2 takes that she recorded. So that's how that works. If they don't have a hard drive, which they should, you want to open up Google, basically do the same thing, put it on the media drive or in the folder of the Pro Tools session, and then email to them using your email. You'll email to them and make sure to zip up this folder before you do it, because then it won't, you want to compress it and then email this to the student. And make sure you get their email before they run off. But yeah, that should really be it. Once you have one of those down, you just keep rinsing and repeating the different playlists until you're done. And I chose 5-horn just because that's the most common band, but that's really, besides ASW and I think one other band, that's really all you need to do. It's just a different setup, like location-wise, but the mics are pretty much the same. I can't think of any other one that are more specific besides ASW. I'll do another video on ASW, but that should be it. I think I covered everything. And then tear down, obviously, make sure you turn off Phantom and you turn these down before you turn off Phantom. And do not unplug before turning off Phantom. Don't unplug the mic set. You turn off Phantom, and then you can start unplugging, and then you should be good. The session is already saved, so you just Command S to save it, and then close the session, and then you're done.